Dear investors and dear Lakshmi, just very good afternoon, and we are glad to just welcome you all to this particular webinar on fixed incomes that matter. And I believe that's a need of the hour as well, because people might feel the importance of fixed income, others are, and in fact we have an important, and one is actually just brief fixed income market update. Me, who is a special guest for the day, and we would follow the same with the Q&A, which we have garnered from you all, and we are just avoid the corruption, and all of you to chat. And with this, I would love to just introduce Lakshmi Iyer. Lakshmi Iyer is the Chief Investment Officer of Fixed Income and Head of the Products at Kotak Management Company. And probably just most of you might have been seeing her name in the fact sheets, and she has been associated with Kotak since, and she joined Kotak Mutual Fund as a fund manager, was responsible for the credit research as well as deal execution, managing fund performance across all debt funds and assisting bank transactions. And she has also been a portfolio specialist and related initiatives, product pricing and coordination with the funds management. And prior to Kotak, she was associated with Credence Analytics as a research analyst, tracking markets in India and generating research reports. Instrumental for conceiving Verai financial software to collaboration with software and technical teams. On behalf of my team, C-Profit, and dear investors, just welcome you, Lakshmi, to this forum, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and hi, a very good afternoon to each one of you. Hope all of you are safe and healthy in your respective homes. I am here today on behalf of and with C-Profit to give you a sense of where we stand in terms of the bond markets today, given that bond markets have been in the news for all the right or the wrong reasons. If I were to say specifically from the second or the third week of March, we have seen a lot of gyrations, a lot of volatilities, so much so that people started, rather investors started comparing fixed income volatility equal to the bond market, the equity markets volatility, and we had to actually, demystify those thought processes in the minds of the investor by saying that, look, equity market is 4 times more volatile than fixed income market, so it is actually a chalk and cheese comparison. So please do do not succumb to the temptation of having such I would say comparisons, just looking at the day on day NAV movements. It is therefore I think very disheartening to see that because of some kahi suni baatein, as I say, the market's hearsay or the WhatsApp hearsay, we're all victims of WhatsApp at some points in time. There have been certain decisions which fixed income investors tend to take without realizing the holistic impact. From a bond market standpoint, if I were to give you where we are today and how we are likely to be heading ourselves going into the future, let's clearly picture a scenario like this, where we are in the midst of the worst ever medical emergency in human history across the world, and finally we have an antidote or an antibiotic to be able to cure that. But obviously the pace at which the virus is multiplying, the pace is way ahead in terms of the pace at which the antibiotic is being administered to human bodies, or for that matter hospitalization or the supply of hospital beds is way lower than the pace at which we are seeing the virus spread across the nation or the world. I took this analogy, which is very topical, to explain to you that the central bankers in world over, including India, are supplying way too much liquidity that is required by the banking system at this point in time. Now, why is it required in case of the virus? The virus is not desired, but to combat that virus, we believe that this liquidity is required to ensure that the financial market does not become a victim of any virus or any bacteria going forward. If you look at the whole month of March and some days or some weeks of April, close to 40 central bankers have actually stepped in to combat this mother of all viruses, which is threatening to blow off lives and livelihood, the battle which is being fought by most governments across the world. You have seen India also follow similar measures. To start with, the monetary policy, which was supposed to be on 3rd April, got advanced to 27th of March. We saw rate cuts, we saw liquidity measures, and it's been just 3 weeks into the 27th of March policy that on Friday, we are on Thursday today, so Friday last, so about 5-6 days back, we saw the Reserve Bank of India top up more measures, like the way we top up our mobile phones or we top up our SIPs. We actually saw the Reserve Bank of India top up more measures to ensure that this brutal war between virus and the medical practitioners does not really lead to the financial markets succumbing to those pressures or to those measures. Now, what were these add-on measures? We saw 2 or 3 key things, but I will just focus on what it means for investors like you and me who are part of the fixed income funds. The Reserve Bank of India has told every banker in the country, look, I am here to give you enough and more liquidity under TLTRO, under a repo. So which means that every bank can go to RBI and borrow money for 3 years at 4.4%. So what do they do with that money? They will take that money from Reserve Bank of India for up to 3 years and start buying corporate bonds in the market.
Your voice keeps getting disconnected. It cracks in between.
Oh, I am static. So wherever I'm cracking, just let me know. But I am static. I'm not moving at all. I'm sitting in one place.
Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, but it keeps getting disconnected.
Okay. So basically what the bankers are doing with this money, they are taking that money and going and buying corporate bonds of various ratings, AAA to all the way RBI has allowed them to go up to BBB minus, which is the investment grade. Now, so far, we have seen 1,50,000 crores worth of such announcement being made by RBI. Today is the 50,000 crores, so including this, it will be 1,50,000 crores. Now, was this there before 27th of March? Answer is no. There was this repo which RBI was giving, but this is targeted repo only to buy corporate bonds. Now, you will want to know why only corporate bonds? Because there is no problem in buying government bonds. The mindset which people had was that the world is going to come to an end after COVID and all corporates in India are going to default. So therefore, the Reserve Bank of India had to come in, like when the Sagar Manthan happened, Lord Shiva actually came in to suck out the toxin as a result of the Sagar Manthan. The Reserve Bank of India, while there is no toxin in the system, the Reserve Bank of India in the form of the banks is telling that, look, I am there to support the corporate bonds in India. You as an investor don't need to worry at all. And truly so, we continue to see a huge rally from the day it started on 27th of March till date, that the corporate bond markets have seen a lot of buyers, investors coming in and making a beeline to start buying these bonds. So result of which we have seen 150 basis points, which means 1.5% to up to 3% fall in the short term to medium term interest rates in the last almost 20 days past from 27th of March till now. This has meant positive NAVs on the funds that you own, right from very short end of the yield curve to the long maturity gilt bond, dynamic bond funds, whichever fund you are owning, we have seen a huge round of rally in each of these categories. What will be the way going forward? The Reserve Bank of India says that this is not enough. If required, the way you and me are doing systematic investment plans in equity, the Reserve Bank of India is offering systemic installments of measures rather than doing one set big bang reforms or giving in one lump sum measure or announcement. We believe that this systematic way of announcement is a far better option because RBI gets to understand where the situation is and then take a correction or a stance wherever it is required. Now, today there has been one more very important announcement. I will jargonize it to the extent possible. Everybody were coming to buy only short-end bonds. You know, you want 3 months, I want 6 months, she wants 1 year, we want 2 years. Nobody wants 10-year, 20-year, 30-year Government of India bond. So what RBI said, I will do Operation Twist. Now, what does twist mean? Okay, you want short-term, I will sell short-term bonds. You don't want long-term bonds, no problem. I will buy long-term bonds. Now, see now just imagine if this I have announced as Reserve Bank of India, immediately the market will go and start buying long bonds, right? Government bonds. That's exactly what has happened. The 10-year government benchmark bond, which is the Nifty equivalent for debt markets, is rallied. The yields are down to 6.1 right now, and it can go down further because Reserve Bank of India is the biggest buyer today of the bonds. We do not need to worry about inflation as a country because the consumer discretionary spending is down to negative. It's not zero, it is negative. Look at the air conditioner sales, look at the refrigerator sales. In COVID, who is bothered even if it is peak summer? Nobody is worried about going to outside their houses to buy all these goods as long as we have a fan running above our head on the ceiling. So therefore, inflation is not a worry. We believe Reserve Bank of India will come and cut rates or take more liquidity measures as and when required to ensure that there is no catastrophe in the financial system. I therefore say this with high degree of certainty to each one of you on this webinar that if you are invested in any fixed income fund, whether it is Kotak or outside Kotak, you do not need to worry about daily movement or daily gyrations. NAVs of these funds are not a dead man's heartbeat that it will give you a steady state return. Only bank fixed deposits can give you steady state return, and that is the reason they offer you such low returns, because they guarantee you certainty. You do not require certainty in this market. You require superior risk adjusted returns. I focus on risk adjusted returns because this is the market where you need to be very doubly and triply sure about the underlying asset quality, given the fact that we are in a very uncertain medical environment. Does that mean that if you have a fund called a credit risk fund, you will exit that fund? Not necessary. You have advisors such as C-Profit to actually go through your portfolios, and they are continuously on the vigil to weed off the chaff from the wheat. The wheat itself need not be shafted from your portfolio just because everybody says it's fancy to be gluten free. It need not be the case. There are very well run credit portfolios which are still offering you superior risk adjusted returns. So please understand your risk profile with your advisor before you take an investment decision. But being invested or staying put in fixed income, according to me, is going to be the way of earning a risk adjusted holistic returns on your portfolio. So what are we telling investors today? What are we telling our channel partners today? We are telling investors that please do not buy overnight funds. Please do not buy liquid funds. We are telling investors that if you have a great spread on your portfolio, continue to have that spread depending on your investment horizon. So if you have under 1 year investment horizon, you have fixed income solutions for you. If you have 3-year investment horizons, you have fixed income solutions even in that kind of a market scenario, ranging from ultra short low duration category funds to for under 1 year, to PSU banking funds, short term funds and corporate bond funds for up to 3-year investments is the best way to get the value for your buck. But I sincerely request each one of you on a concluding note, please do not look at your NAVs after 6 days. If you have invested and committed to your advisor that I have a minimum 6-month investment horizon, likewise, if you've invested in an ultra short-term fund for 3 months, don't look at the NAV in 3 days and start getting palpitations or jitters. Oh, why has my NAV gone lower? NAVs of liquid funds also will be volatile. One-day returns can be negative. But I can say this with high degree of certainty that these categories are the best in line to outperform traditional mode of investments. I have zero doubts in my mind, but staying the course and not deviating from that is very, very important. When you go to a doctor and he gives you, suppose you have a stomach bug, and he or she gives you a medical prescription for 5 days, say have it thrice a day. On the second day, if your stomach is feeling okay, if you stop the prescription given by the doctor, will the virus or bacteria be completely killed? The answer is no. So similarly, the way you have to complete your course on a medical prescription, you have to complete your course on an investment tenure, failing which we will always compare and we will always be in subservient categories like banking products, which may not be the best suited to your portfolio appetite. So please keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that in these markets, advisors play a very critical role. Please do not undermine their efforts. I am happy to take on Vanita. What is the process? Do we have more presentations, or you want to take questions, or do you want to add on something? I have given a brief on the markets. I can top it up with any questions.
Yeah, sure. And thank you so much for sharing the update. And one is Lakshmi, actually just you're a debt fund manager who has seen the sovereign gilt yields at 11.5% as well as at 5%. So the yields just hovering to the peak as well as just coming down to the bottom. So what's your views on the 10-year government at this point of time?
So, my view is that we can see the government bond yield coming down further. But, as I mentioned to you, there will be huge gyrations. There will be huge whipsaw movements. So while there is zero credit risk in gilt as a category, there will be huge interest rate risk. And why I say that is, while RBI has announced monetary measures, we are yet to see fiscal stimulus coming in from the Reserve Bank or from the government of India. And as and when the fiscal stimulus comes, if RBI is there to support, we will see a supported yield curve. Otherwise, it is very difficult to expect, one-way downward movement in bond yields.
Okay. Again, actually, just it's an article which talks about the gold prices. Like gold has returned, and only thing it could not beat is the 30 US treasuries. So what's your views on gold?
So, my view on gold, I have been very vocal on media and various advisors who I have been in touch with directly. Treat gold as an insurance cover on your portfolio, the way you buy a term insurance on your life. Have only that much gold which is required to take care of your financial portfolio. So therefore, while I remain bullish on gold, I will not advocate anybody to go lopsided overweight in gold. for the simple reason that this gold, which could be say 5, 10, 15% maximum of your portfolio, will ensure that you have a last man standing or a last woman standing in your portfolio if the world were to come to an end. So COVID actually threatened that the world is coming to an end, and therefore you saw this kind of gold giving these kind of supernormal returns of 50% in the last 1 year. So my suggestion is, while the upside on gold is still open, please understand that gold should be sparing proportions enough to cover like your life liability. It is enough to cover your portfolio liability. So have it as a part of your portfolio. World over, there is no rule of the thumb. So I would say anyway in the band of 5 to 15% of your portfolio is very good enough. Even if you do it like an SIP, like you do it SIP in equity, is absolutely fine. If you put one lump sum and leave it, that is also absolutely fine.
Such a case actually